everyone. Welcome to Phase on Rally Interviews. Thank you for clicking on the video in the first place. I really appreciate you guys clicking the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment below any kind of questions you want me to ask, any kind of questions you want me to ask future players, any kind of questions you have for me personally. I can answer them in the comments as well. But like I said, enjoy the interview. Thank you again for clicking on the video in the first place, and have a great rest of your day. All right. Thank you very much for sitting with me, Damonte, head coach, or what is your what is your title? I keep calling you the head coach of Shopify Rebellion, but what technically is your title?
Technically assistant coach.
Okay, assistant coach, Palafox Whisperer, Contracts Whisperer, whatever nickname the broadcast gives you this time. Coming off of the longest best of 5 series that ended up in 3 games in LTA and LCS history, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
weird stat, but like still historical, I guess. You're still ending up in the history books. Game 3 especially, I couldn't tell what the hell was going on. What was you watching the game? Like how many heart attacks did you have?
Shoot, a lot, honestly. I mean, there was just a lot of team fighting, a lot of grouping in this game. Kind of both teams drafted very similarly, where it's just kind of front to back, and their comp maybe a little bit better on mid wave, but our comp is a little bit better with like a true front to back way because they have Renekton, we have Scion. Um, yeah, I mean, it was just a very hectic game. I'm trying to recollect everything that happens, and I just can't.
I'm thinking back to game 3 specifically. There was feels like 3 fights around Baron, the fight around Otacon, the fights around Dragon, base defenses. Are you sure we're not watching 100 Thieves when 100 Thieves won the LCS title? Are we sure we're not back to that? Because that's what it feels like. Like the someday FBI era. Like how like you were on that team that's around you were around that team Hui FBI. How close does that feel like having those experiences around that team? How has that like have you felt like any reflection in this team that we have now on Shopify?
Absolutely. I think Shopify, we can contend with any team in the league. The thing about us right now is that we really have to be able to clean up, I would say, the end of mid game and then our late game. Because this FlyQuest series just proves to me that we have the firepower and we have the skill to match FlyQuest, but their problem solving and their approach to mid and late game is just better than us right now. So it just this series just tells me that okay, if we can use this next week of practice, then if we can use this next week of practice well and clean up some of these issues, if we're getting leads versus FlyQuest, which teams like C9 couldn't even contend at all with, then we are in a position of power in the playoffs. And it's a good feeling because we've been clawing back this whole split ever since I joined. It's like, okay, we are rock bottom as soon as I'm here, and it's a climb. It's a continuous climb, and maybe it's a little silly to feel optimistic after a 0-3, but the reality of the 0-3 is that it was the longest series, like you said, and it is against FlyQuest, who honestly have just been shutting everyone out. It hasn't even been close when most of the teams play them.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those series where you could go back in the games like, okay, if this plays out differently, if we get like a little bit of an earlier engage, if we hold back for a half second longer, this turns out completely different, and it's a butterfly effect. We win this game, and we don't know how the series goes. So it's one of those like you can look back as like, hey, we cleaned this up, we're in it. Like, I talked to Palafox, I guess it was like 3 weeks ago at this point, and he mentioned like how he feels like you guys are closer to the top of the league than a lot of the fans and media were giving you credit for, and I feel like we're starting to see it play out on stage as well. Like we've seen, it wasn't last week, but like 2 weeks ago, I think you were against FlyQuest again, and you had that it was best of 2 or best of 3, so 2 game wins that would win it, and we started to see some Shopify like turn the corner. Like you guys had like those end game calls, and you guys were definitely like you could see you making like that leap, that next step. Of course, I'm saying all that being bronze and being bronze in season 9, so I don't know how much you can take into account for that, but it is what it is. So you're actually the first coach I've talked to since the new season started, actually all year. And as everyone knows, it's being beaten to death. It's a new season. There's a whole lot of changes around the map. How interesting has it been, or was it, seeing the changes of the season, the momentum around the map changing, the timers for stuff like grubs changing, only one grubs, one kind of autocon dragon timers roughly staying the same. How weird is it being playing around that and coaching around that, and like Saint learning? Oh yeah, new middle of the split, we have a new season.
Yeah. There's a lot to adapt to. I think it's important for the coach right now to be playing some league. I know there's coaches historically who just don't play the game, but right now it feels like if you don't have a grasp of the new meta and how much it changes, then you fall behind a little bit. I think where we've landed in the meta is really good right now. I really like that there's only one grubs. Um, it just kind of like opens a lot of options for top lane, I feel. Like you can play a lot more stuff now. I think the evolution of lane swaps is really cool as well. You saw in our third game as well, we have a Scion and we have a losing bot lane. So we utilized swapping around early, and it's no more level 1 swaps, which I think is super anti-fun. It's more like first base, look for a swap, you sacrifice some minions to get some tempo, and you can get some control on the other side, even if you have a bad matchup. So I honestly I think where we've landed with a lot of these meta things is actually super, super good. I think it's the spot right now that the game is in is pretty solid, at least on the pro side.
I mean, I play top lane, so I'm perfectly happy not having lane swaps anymore, not having the Lorelo effect being supports top lane roaming with smite. I'm glad that that meta is very much past.
Were people lane swapping in your bronze games?
No, but so I play with. So I don't know if you know who Saskio is, the Vayne Winter. Yeah, yeah. I played a couple games with him, and I'm watching him stream his games, and seeing like him playing, he's picking Vayne into Riven. It's like, okay, I win this matchup. I took Exhaust into Riven. And I asked Fudge about that, but we don't talk about that game anymore. And like seeing like the bot lanes roaming up, seeing like a Jinx Lulu top lane, seeing like these oppressive bot lanes for him since he's playing a Vayne top. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable for the viewer either. Because like, okay, this is gonna happen. It's like you have a checklist, right? Like you're playing like you're drinking games. Okay, here's the lane swap. All right, take a shot. It's it's not fun. So does that mean you've been playing a lot of solo queue? You're up to challenger yet? Grandmaster, master? Where are you at right now?
I I haven't hit challenger in like 4 years, honestly, probably since I stopped playing. I like to hang out in low master. I'm not really, I don't know, I don't play the game to really climb. And it kind of like feels a little bit too stressful for me sometimes if I just try to climb. Like, it's funny saying all this because I mean, it used to be my life is just playing this game 24/7 and playing for LP and all of this. But I just play to get a grasp of the game and try to like I play matchups that my players kind of are thinking about testing or maybe something I think could be good. So I'll play solo queue with some intention behind it, and usually it's not to win. But yeah, I mean, I think I mean, that's pretty much it, really. Yeah, I'm pretty low elo nowadays. So if for any of the fans out there, if you want to play with or against me, hit like Diamond 2, Diamond 1, and you might just slam me in your game or see me in your game, not slam me, hopefully.
I mean, you're talking to someone that's hit Iron 4 LP, so I think I got low elo locked down. I don't want to talk about it. It's a dark time of my past. Um, Last question for you here, because hitting the 10-minute mark, I don't want to keep you here too long. Outside of League of Legends, I'm sure right now League of Legends, your team is your main focus. You want to make sure everything's all good. But like, this is a question I've been asking everyone. Palafox is collecting Pokemon cards. Busio is working on his Twitter game. Fudge is watching shows with his girlfriend. Audiolan is getting used to LA, all that fun stuff. But what have you been doing outside of League of Legends? Kind of like unwind out of solo queue, decompress. Like what's like your thing that not many people know about? Something you do for fun.
Honestly, probably no one knows this except for the people around me, but I've been producing house and techno music for the last like 3 or 4 years, and I
Dude,
do some
wait. What are you
every
what are you using? What DAW you use?
I'm on Ableton.
Man, I use FL Studio.
It's okay. You can learn something from both.
Yeah, I know. But that's cool. You so like you just being like producing like techno and like bass house or tropical house.
It's like more what would you consider it? Almost like minimal house or kind of like a Miami version of house, just more chill, kind of like not a lot of big drops, not a lot of like action, more just like a vibe in a way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what how my music taste has evolved anyways. I used to listen to, like, rap, and then when I first got into EDM, it was, like, dubstep, but now that I'm older, I'm, like, just enjoying kind of rhythm and groove and, it's fun to sit down. Honestly, I don't have, like, almost any time to do it during the season because feels like you can, like, throw together a beat, but when I had a lot more time, I was trying to, like, make songs, and I've been doing it for 3, 4 years now, so I throw together some listenable stuff, maybe nothing crazy, but yeah, I would say that's probably my main hobby.
You got to post some of those songs now. I actually did the opposite. I started in orchestral music, which is like smooth classical, and now I'm in hardstyle.
Oh, nice.
So it's like the polar opposites. But that's really cool. I never expected that. But yeah, post if you post some like snippets on Twitter or
One day.
Instagram or something. Yeah, we got to keep our eyes peeled for it. But thank you very much for sitting with me. It was a ton of fun. I still owe you a drink here when you get to Vancouver for MSI, and beat Ton of Thieves next week, and we get to see me here go bald. So I'm okay with all three of those.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank
Cool,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too.